This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Friday, the 12th day of June in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here is what we're tracking tonight. As students preparing for national examinations return to the classroom on Monday in preparation for those exams, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Shamdir Prasad, is encouraging teachers to be supportive of the students. He also wants the teachers to keep an eye on the students to ensure they are following all the health and safety protocols to guard themselves against the coronavirus.
To our teachers, the Ministry of Public Health wishes to thank you for responding to the call during this COVID-19 pandemic to assist in preparing our nation's children for this important exam. Teachers, your role is to reinforce the health guidelines which I've discussed at yesterday's briefing. Please remember that the students will be looking to you for guidance, so please provide it at all times. This is a new situation for all of you. You have to give them the mental support and help them with this challenging situation.
Yesterday, Dr. Prasad encouraged parents to have a conversation with their children about the coronavirus and the safety measures that they must follow as they return to school. The schools have been putting a number of systems in place to ensure students and teachers are safeguarded. Dr. Prasad said there is also a role for the auxiliary staff.
Auxiliary workers, please ensure that the restroom areas are kept clean with water available for kids to flush the toilets after they use them and to wash their hands. I wish to remind you too to keep an eye on those students who may want to loiter in the area. Just make sure that they wash their hands and go back immediately to their classrooms.
The revision classes will be conducted on only 3 days of the week, with each day lasting for no more than 4 hours. Guyana currently has 52 active cases of the coronavirus, with 1 new case being recorded in the past 24 hours. A total of 95 recoveries have now been recorded, with 3 of those coming overnight. More news coming up in just a moment.
We all want to stay in touch, right? Now, even more than ever before. So to keep your connection strong, GTT is going 2 for 2. Combine GTT mobile and home internet services and we'll give you 2 gigs of free mobile data each month. With 2 GTT services, you're fully connected at home and on the go. Visit us online at gtt.co.gy/2for2 to learn more and start doing more with 2 for 2 from GTT. Stay safe, stay strong, Guyana. We're in this together.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
Parents and guardians, you are encouraged to tune in to the Guyana Learning Channel, Cable 29 or Channel 42 for daily educational and interactive learning sessions. The nursery program airs from 6 hours to 9 hours. Primary programs from 9 hours to 12 noon. We also air informative documentaries from 12 noon to 13 hours. And our secondary level programs are aired from 13 hours to 15 hours. Please continue to listen to our radio broadcasts. The interactive radio instruction for grades 1 to 3 daily on Voice of Guyana from 9 hours 30 to 10 hours for grade 1 pupils, from 10 hours 30 to 11 hours for grade 2s, and 13 hours to 13 hours 30 for grade 3 pupils. Please remember to tune in to benefit from these educational opportunities. A message from the Ministry of Education.
The following is an important message from the Ministry of Public Health. Getting your workplace ready for COVID-19. Surfaces such as desks, tables, and telephones with keyboards must be wiped with disinfectant regularly, or at least every few hours. Use containers of hand sanitizers and place them in prominent places around the workplace. Provide access to places where your staff can wash their hands with soap and water, and promote regular hand washing at the workplace. The Ministry of Public Health has a hotline to provide information on the coronavirus. Members of the public can call 227-4986 or 624-3067.
Welcome back. People's Progressive Party General Secretary Barra Jagdeo is expecting that the Elections Commission will declare his party as the winner of the 2020 elections. The incumbent APNU-AFC coalition continues to claim that there were sufficient anomalies unearthed during the recount to raise questions about the credibility of the elections. The coalition has also been saying that electoral fraud is evident. But Mr. Jagdeo, who is also a former president, today said the Elections Commission has no choice but to declare a winner, since in his view there is nothing in the law that allows GCOM to nullify any elections.
There is no provision in our constitution or any law to say that GCOM has any authority to void an election, annul it, or to call for fresh elections. There's absolutely no law that gives GCOM that power.
The PPP General Secretary said when the recount of votes was completed, the results were certified, and therefore the Elections Commission must act on those results.
There is no provision in our Constitution or any law in this country which says that there can be a situation where once there is a result in the election, and there has been a result and a certified result, that there'd be no declaration. So GCOM doesn't have any authority vested in them by any law in this country or the Constitution to not declare a winner or the president or the list that won the most votes. We already have certified results, so they're bound to declared on the basis of the certified results.
Jagdeo said he has also heard suggestions that a chancellor of the judiciary could get involved and advise the two major parties to share power while new elections are being sought. He said there is nothing under the laws of Guyana that caters for any such scenario.
This is a view of some people, including Henry Jeffrey and the others. I don't know. They must be losing their marbles to even suggest this as though it's part of our constitution or any law in the country. The chancellor has no such power. 4, there is no provision in the constitution or in our laws to say that GCOM can constitute itself into a court of law to hear complaints by contesting parties. Absolutely none. In fact, the Constitution is very explicit when it says about that any challenging of the elections would have to be done through the jurisdiction of the court.
On the issue of GCOM probing anomalies, Jagdeo believes that GCOM cannot investigate those claims, since it cannot investigate itself.
For those who think that GCOM can now convert itself into a court of law and hear their complaints, they can file those complaints in an elections petition at the end of when the declaration is made and the new president sworn in. They can file a petition and argue their case. And if the court finds that their case is valid, then the court has remedies which it can apply.
The recount of votes was triggered by claims of fraud in the declaration of the Region 4 results. The Elections Commission is expected to make known its position following the presentation and studying of the reports from the Chief Elections Officer and the CARICOM high-level team that scrutinized the vote recount. Still in the world of politics, let's tell you that the reports on the vote recount, tabulation and observations should be completed and handed in to the Elections Commission by tomorrow Saturday, the 13th of June. The main report is the one that will be done by the Chief Elections Officer. The other report is being compiled by the 3-member CARICOM team, which scrutinize the vote recount process. When the reports are handed in, the third stage of the recount process will be triggered. That third stage speaks to the perusal and discussion of the reports by the Elections Commission. A declaration could follow by the 16th of June. The main political parties have been paying close attention to the Elections Commission as they all await the submission of the reports. The PPP remains confident of victory, while the APNU-AFC coalition is holding out on its position that votes that cannot be validated ought not be added to the final recount. There could be as many as 10,000 votes that could possibly fall under that banner. The APNU-AFC believes the number could be much higher.
It is noteworthy also that on election day, senior functionaries of the People's Progressive Party were fingered in an alleged illegal ID card distribution exercise on the east coast of Demerara, in the same area that the recount has now shown to be the epicenter of a massive electoral fraud. In these circumstances, all taken together, paint a picture of a conspiracy to subvert the will of the Guyanese people.
It has been over 3 months since Guyana went to the polls and voted. The recount of votes process, which has been gazetted as an order, was initiated by President David Granger, who secured the involvement of CARICOM and the agreement of the opposition leader. Well, attorney at law and People's Progressive Party civic candidate Anil Nandlal has compiled and dispatched a number of screen grabs of Facebook comments that are considered racist to the police commissioner for investigation. The comments were captured from different Facebook pages, including the comments section of some media houses. In his letter to the police commissioner, Mr. Nandlal said the selected comments are worthy of his attention, investigation, and action. He also promised that the People's Progressive Party was going to furnish the police with more of the comments from social media. Based on the screen grabs that Nandlal shared with the media, all of the comments he submitted for investigation appear to be against one ethnic group. Earlier this week, following a meeting with the police commissioner, PPP presidential candidate Irfan Ali said he was very concerned about some of the statements he has seen being made on social media. He said the majority of the racially insensitive statements appear to be coming from Guyanese living abroad who have no plan to return home, but rather to cause mischief from abroad. The Ethnic Relations Commission of Guyana has been monitoring the social media pages and has also been conducting investigations of its own. On the police blotter right now, 3 years after his escape from the Lusignan prison, murder suspect Paul Goraya has been recaptured in neighboring Suriname and is likely to be returned to Guyana within days. Goraya and 2 other men were nabbed in Naikere recently during an armed robbery. He initially identified himself as Kevin Smith, but when his photograph was sent to local police, they identified him as the wanted prison escapee. Director of Prisons Gladwin Samuels told news source today that he has confirmed the identity of Goraya based on a photograph that was sent to local authorities by his Surinamese counterparts. Mr. Samuels explained that the Guyana Police Force and the Surinamese police are working on Goraya's transfer to Guyana. Goraya was among a group of 13 prisoners who escaped from the Lusignan jail back in July of 2017. While the majority of escapees were recaptured, Goraya was among a small group that evaded the authorities and escaped without a trace. At the time of his escape, he was awaiting trial for the murder of a farmer. Across the region is coming up next.
Wondering how you can access free learning materials for your children? Parents and guardians, please visit the Ministry of Education's website at www.education.gov.gy to access textbooks, past papers, and practice tests to keep your child engaged in continuous learning. When you have accessed the site, go to the Students tab, wait for a second, and choose the appropriate option. You now have access to the resources you need. You are encouraged to take advantage of this opportunity as we strive to provide the best education for the nation's children. A message from the Ministry of Education.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Howo trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Covenant, East Bank, Demerara.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Hi Guyana, it's your boy Kimo Paul here. Reminding you to stay at least 1 meter away from persons, or 3 feet, to avoid contracting the flu or the COVID-19. It is also important that we stay at home and to avoid gatherings of more than 5 persons. We must all play our part, so let's protect ourselves and our families from COVID-19. We must all play our part. The Ministry of Public Health cannot do this alone, so let's all come together and fight this virus.
For further information, check our website www.health.gov.gy or visit the ministry's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter page.
Across the region right now, from the 15th of June, the Monday to Thursday curfew hours currently enforced on Barbados will be discontinued. However, from Friday to Sunday, the new curfew hours will be from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. for the next 2 weeks. Prime Minister Mia Mottley made the announcement last evening during an address to the nation. The Prime Minister said she was generally pleased with the way Barbadians have conducted themselves during the last few weeks, and she said the easing in the curfew restrictions was predicated on the respect for the regulations that had been previously announced in the COVID-19 order and the mature response of Barbadians. Mottley cautioned that although government had relaxed the restrictions, it was not prepared to let Barbadians step out of line and ignore any concerns that the Ministry of Health might have. Coronavirus cases have been rising sharply in many Latin American countries, and health authorities there say it's now the epicenter of the global pandemic. Brazil has more than 800,000 confirmed cases, the second highest in the world. Other countries in the region, including Mexico, Chile, and Peru, are also struggling to contain major outbreaks. With new confirmed cases in the US and many European countries reporting declining numbers, there is concern that the numbers are growing in Latin America. The first confirmed case in Latin America was identified in Brazil on the 26th of February, although researchers have said there are indications that there were cases there as early as January. Coronavirus has since spread to every country in the Latin American region. And finally tonight, international news. Angry police officers across France have thrown their handcuffs on the ground as they feel insulted by claims that they tolerate brutality and racism. Protesting police also drove in convoy in central Paris earlier today, sounding their horns. They rejected any parallels with a Minneapolis police officer whose fatal arrest of George Floyd sparked a wave of anti-racism protests worldwide, and they are furious with the government ban on the police chokehold. The Interior Minister in France announced a ban on Monday after French protesters took to the streets alleging that police in France exhibited racism towards ethnic minorities, in the same way that the US police have been accused of using brutality towards black suspects. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley. Have a safe weekend.